Welcome children. We'll continue our lesson. The population. Okay. The population. So we have discussed about the age structure. Okay. And literacy rate and the ratio. So now we have the topic about working population. Okay. Working population. So that means, so in the age structure we had made three divisions, no? So their working age, okay? So that only, okay? So age group of 15 to 59 are the working people, okay? So they might be work throughout the year only or part of the year, okay? And it's all depends on availability of work. So distribution of these workers, okay, as per the census of 2011, they have divided into 4 categories. Okay, they have divided into 4 categories. Understand? So the first one divided into 4 categories. So the first one is cultivators. Okay, cultivators, that means farmers. Okay, cultivators are farmers or who farm their own land and or else who takes as their tenant, no? Okay, so those are also comes under into these cultivators. Okay, so the second one, agriculture laborers. Okay, second one, agriculture laborers. So that means who go for the works into the agriculture areas, no? Okay, so those we call as agricultural laborers. Those who work on another forms for wages in cash or some kind. Okay, so those are considered into second one, agriculture laborers. And the third one, okay, so the third one, workers in household industries. Okay, workers in household industries. So that means who will come into this, you know, like who have some like a small scale manufacturing units. Okay, so some like who is doing like dehusking of paddy, or BD workers or potters, weavers, and repair of footwears or manufacturing of toys or matches, etc. Okay, so these all kinds of working people comes under into third category. Okay, third category in the households. Okay, in the households industries. Household industries. Okay, and the fourth one is other workers. Okay, fourth one is other workers. Okay, fourth one is other workers. So in this we will be adding, you know, who were employed in factories. Okay, who were employed in factories and who were doing the works of like trading. Okay, and some of like casual laborers and who are having like some other occupations, no? So those all comes under into 4 categories. Okay, as per the census. Okay, as per the census, so the working population, they divided into 4 categories. Okay, they divided into 4 categories. So that is the first one, the cultivators or farmers. So this cultivator, maybe their own land cultivators, or maybe they are taking as a tenants, no? Okay, like a kaulu. Okay, so that also comes under into this cultivator category. And the second one, agricultural laborers, who will do the works in the agricultural lands, some another farmers' lands for paying of some wages. Okay, those. And another one, workers who will do in the household works, some like small scale manufacturing units, no? Those. And the fourth one is some other workers like who were employees in factories or else in manufacturing units. and some of casual labors. Okay, so these all comes under into fourth category. Okay, and here they have given the table 3 that percentage of workers in each category. Okay, percentage of workers in each category. Cultivators 25%, agricultural laborers 30, workers in household industries 4, other workers 41. Okay, and this is about the working in, okay, working population. And next, changing population size. Changing population size. Changing population size, either decrease or increase. Okay, so that's we called as changing population size. You know what, this population is a dynamic. Okay, population is dynamic, and you know the numbers and distribution and composition of the population are always changing, and these all the changes, it has an interaction of the 3 processes. Okay, so that is birth, death and migrations. Okay, so these changing in the populations, it all leads to the births, deaths and migrations. Okay, so migrations means people are shifting from one place to another place. Okay, so that is called migration, no? Yes, so these are the 3 processes the population size changes. Okay, so it is different in number of inhabitants of a country or a land in a specific period, that during last 10 years. Okay, see, these population change can be observed in 2 ways. That is one, an absolute number. Okay, that is one, an absolute number. Okay, that is one absolute number. And the second one, as percentage change. As percentage change. So that means what, you know, here comes to an absolute number. So that means it is equal to population at later dates and the minus to the population at earlier date. Okay, so if we do that, we will get that absolute number. Okay, so for example, I'll tell you, if it is any place, the population maybe that is in, by observation of the last record, if it is 2 lakhs, and if it is earlier information, like if it is maybe 4 lakhs, so by the deduction of the amount, whatever it comes, so that is the absolute number of population size. So there in that example, so 2 lakhs of that increasing of the absolute number of population size. Okay, and another one, as percentage changes. Okay, as percentage changes. Okay, so and here another way of the calculation also they have given here, population change in a place, that is equal to number of births. Okay, so number of births. How it can be changes of the population size? See, this is a calculate. For example, if they take into one place population, okay, if they take any place population, okay, population change in a place. So in that place, number of births. So that means in that place, how many births? That means how many children born, and plus number of in margin. Okay, number of in migrations. That means if any people have came to settle down in that place, maybe, right? So number of migrations. So first we should be add that number of births plus number of migrations. Okay, so from this number we should have to be deduct. We should have to deduct number of deaths. Okay, deduct number of deaths plus number of out migrants. Number of out migrants. So that means somebody whoever lives in this place, they might be went to some far off other places, no? So those we called as number of out migrants. Okay, see, if we do this, we will get the population changes in a place. Okay, see, total number of birth plus number of in-migrants. Okay, so we will get a value here. So from that, we have to be deduct that. So number of deaths plus number of out-migrants. So if we do that, we will get the correct population change in place. Okay. See, for example, we'll think that some of X place population. So there, for example, the birth of the children in that years 10. Maybe number of in-migrants 2. Just I'll make you understand easily. Just that's it. And so number of deaths may be 2 in that particular place in that particular year. And number of out migrants may be 1. Okay. So what is the value here? See. What it comes? 12 minus 3. Okay. 9. So that means the population change in that place to, okay. What is the correct population change in a place? That 9. Okay. And see here, in order to calculate this increases, we examine 2 rates. That is, birth rate is the number of live births as per the 1000 persons in a year. Okay, number of in a years. And second one, death rate is the number of deaths per 1000 persons in a year. So if you gonna calculate in that way also we will get the clarity. But as well as at that time we should be take out the information about the in-migrants and out-migrants. Okay. And here, in order to examine the causes for the growth of India's population, as seen from the graph above, we need to take both the death rate and birth rate. So there is rapid decline in the death rate, but till recent times, birth rate has not been decreasing. Okay, so death rate, if we see here in the graph, death rate decreases, and but birth rate also, okay, birth rate did not decrease drastically. Okay, so here if we observe here in 1901 in the 1901 and in 1921. Okay, in 1901 and till to the 1921. So the period of 1901 to the 1921 witnessed as high death rates. Okay, so these period witnessed as high death rates. Okay, witnessed as high death rate. Why so? Of course, there are many reasons. Okay, so this period treated as a high death rates. Okay, so due to famines, okay, food shortage. Famines means nothing but food shortage. Okay, due to food shortage and due to epidemics, including like influenza epidemics in 1918. In the year 1918, so they faced influenza epidemics, and that is estimated to have killed 15 million people. Influenza epidemics killed how many, 15 million people. And from 1920 onwards, especially post-independence, impact of famines declined because of the famine relief and movement of grain and ration shops and active public voice in a democracy. But it is one of the drastical issue about what was happened in 1918 due to the influenza. Okay, due to the influenza epidemics, 15 million people were died, and recently due to the corona epidemics also many people were died. Right? Recently this was happened okay. So same like that in the 1918. So by the influenza epidemic, many people were died, and due to famines also many people were died. But after the independence, So after the independence, the government of India first in the 5 years plan even, they have given more priority for the producing of more grains, and so that's why they have developed many irrigation projects, okay, to overcome from the famine situation. So that is helped to be overcome from the famines, okay, and they established the PDS system also, that through the ration shops they are given some of the grains to the public, okay. And similarly, some of the epidemics such as cholera and plague and some extent to the malaria are also being controlled after that. And due to the some polluted water and congested living and uncleared garbage were the real cause of several diseases. Actually, for the causing of the several diseases, unclean areas and contaminated drinking water, okay. And compared to the 1921, death rates fell rapidly. High birth rates along with the declining death rate led to be higher rate of population growth. Yes, later on, the death rates will become decreased, okay, and the birth rate became increased. Understand? So due to that's why the population growth, okay, population became grown up, and the higher rate of the population growth, okay. So here, if you see that, why did the birth rate remain high for such a long period? See, one set of the reason has to do what has happened past. Overall population, the percentage of young people is high. In overall population, if it is a percentage of young people, if the percentage of young people high, if it is high, then is coming year they would be grow up and they get married and they have the children. So then that's why the birth rate is become high. Okay, birth rate is become high, and the total number of the children added each year would be high because we began with the population with a large number of young people. Okay, and here there is one more. In 1981. Birth rate has also started declining gradually. Okay, in 1981 onwards, birth rate declined, and resulting in a gradual decline in the rate of population growth also. Okay, so how do we understand this trend? So for this understanding this, we have to understand here the fertility rate. Okay, fertility rate, that means total birth for women. Okay, so for that, if we see the graph 4, clearly we can know that here in 1961, so that a woman can give the birth to the children 5 to 6. Okay, so actually the fertility rate of India in 1961 was 5 to 9. So which indicates that on an average each woman was likely to be bear 5 or 6 children. The family members to be decide how many children they can be survive and how many children they are able to give their security and all. Okay, but it was became declining to the 2011. Only nowadays the parents and the families they are both the couples also deciding that they are able to engage only on two or three kids. Okay, so that's why the fertility rate of the woman also became declined. And another one, the third component of the population change is migration. Okay, migration, that means changing from one place to the other place. Okay, migration means leaving from one place and to the other place, that is we call as migration. No, yes. So and in this migration also there is two variations: internal migration and international migration. Internal migration means nothing but within the country. Okay, within the country, that means from this state to other states, like that. Okay, so international migration, that means leaving people from this country to the other country. So nowadays some people who are like for the searching jobs, okay, but for doing of the job they are migrating to some other countries, no, like in developed countries, like that. Okay, so that is called a international migration. You know what? This migration plays a vital role in changing of its composition and distribution of population. Okay, and always in the people always use this population growth like an alarm tone that if the population increases that and whereas the population is so high to be utilizing of the few resources, so always they blames that due to the increasing of the population size they are not able to get their resources. Okay, but that is one of the blame on the population growth. Okay, so next is about population density. Here population density, that means what, you know, it is a number of people, okay, number of persons per unit area. Okay, so number of people, number of persons in a unit area, so that is called a population density. That is called population density. Number of persons in unit per unit area or in a unit area, so that is called population density. So if we get say population density for better picture of its distribution in India mostly densely populated countries of the world. India is one of the mostly population densely populated countries of the world. That means in the world, okay, so there is population density more is there in the India. Okay, so that means in a small area of the place many people are living in our India. Okay, so it was a population density of India in the year 2011. Okay, in the year 2011 was it is 382 persons. Okay, 382 persons per square kilometer. Okay, per square kilometer. How many persons are living? 382. Okay, 382. And of course this density varies from the state to state. It's not equal in all the states. Okay, this is varies from the state to state. And in which places the density was more? So where is the place? It's have the plains areas more, and where is the place the soil was fertile soil, okay, to do the agriculture more and all. Okay, so in that areas the population density was more. Okay, so here we have given about the its densities vary from the 1102 persons per square kilometers in Bihar, only 17 persons in the Arunachal Pradesh. In Bihar, each per square kilometers, how many were living, you know? 1102 persons. But as well as if we see another state like Arunachal Pradesh, only 17 persons in 1 square kilometers. So that means population density was more in the Bihar. Okay. So and in Assam and most of the peninsular state have the moderate population. Okay. So mostly hilly and rocky nature of the terrain. Terrain means here land. Okay. And moderate to low rainfalls and shallow and less fertile soils where it is there. So there is some of the influenced population densities in these areas. And mostly in the northern plains and in Kerala in south have very high population density areas. Why? Because you know it's have the flat plains. Okay, it's have the flat plains. Okay, and as well as it has the fertile soil and abundant rainfall. Okay, more rainfall. So due to that's why. So in the northern plains areas and in the Kerala, it's have the population density more. Once if you see this map 2, population density of India, okay, at district level. So here they have given with the color shaded, where is more dark is there, no? So there is population density was so high. Okay, so and you know some of the areas where is there the like Kerala and in North Plains there is more density, and if you see some places like Ladakh places and in like some Arunachal Pradesh, it's on the very less density. Okay, so this is called population density, and lesson is about the population. Okay.